Hi everyone, Simeon here. In this video I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to completely eliminate unqualified prospects from your pipeline so you never have to deal with somebody who does not fit your ideal customer profile ever again. Now this video is specifically meant for B2B and solopreneur offers, but even if you don't have one, chances are you'll learn quite a lot. So let's get into it. So the first principle is to never be vague, to never talk about basic stuff. Your ideal customers are brand owners, they're business owners. They have heard the basics years ago at this point. And the number one way to get unqualified leads for your B2B offer is to post about mindset and go on basic rants on social media. These here need to be reduced to a quarter of your content, ideally less. And if you're going for a similar type of ad copy for, let's say, an awareness campaign, you better have your targeting dialed in, otherwise you're straight up burning money. I'm going to go further in depth on this later, but just know that appealing to the general public can mean higher views, it can mean lower cost per lead, which is why most agencies show those off. What they don't show is their high client acquisition costs, which are high because their messaging and targeting is bad. The other ugly side of unqualified prospects is how low in trust and how skeptical they are. They will try their darn hardest to sell themselves into not buying your product or service. On the other hand, when everything you're doing is targeted at your intended audience, the business owners, the entrepreneurs, your views end up being lower, your CPLs end up being higher, but your client acquisition cost goes down. Also, those prospects are much easier to sell because they're more prone to taking risk, they're much less skeptical, and they're higher intent. Now, however, all of this requires a different content strategy. As mentioned previously, your messaging needs to change, your funnels need to change, your content production needs to change probably as well. Now there are a few ways to almost completely eliminate unqualified prospects and I'm going to go over them. The first is to run direct tests or direct VSL. The direct VSL funnel is very intent based, it's cheaper to test and get results with compared to any other alternative, and the quality of the appointments is always great. Direct response is the ABCs of copywriting and marketing, and you'll find great results here. Now, can an indirect approach work? Yes, it definitely can, but you need to be an amazing copywriter, and even then you need to be willing to waste thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars to test it. So when you're starting out, it really is not the best option. Number two is to integrate an application software with qualification logic in your funnel. This is your second layer of protection against unqualified prospect. If the applicant ticks all the boxes, they're sent to the scheduler, and after they've scheduled a call, they're sent to a thank you or a confirmation page with the pixel on it, and we send the data back to Meta. If they don't meet the requirements you've set, they're sent to thank you, unfortunately you weren't qualified page, or alternatively they're sent to a downsell, so we are getting the most out of our traffic here. And when you do these two, when you filtered out the unwanted prospects, you can comfortably start selling at a higher price, because unlike the unqualified prospect right here, your ideal one searches for the justification of the price. He looks for the inherent value instead of running away scared from the big number. Now, courtesy to Alex Ramosi for the image here, a higher price is great if you have a good service delivery. Your ideal client gets more value while you get an easier time with much higher revenue. Last but not least, you need to track your data. So most CRMs like Go High Level will suffice. Google Sheets is completely free, while there are some other high-end options. As long as you do your due diligence, look at the KPIs, keep them in a sheet, you'll be fine. From there, you just test different ad copy, different VSLs, different creatives. This has been made a bit different now thanks to Meta's Andromeda update. I'm going to cover that in a later video, but we are running direct response. What you need to do is just pick a variable, test it, look at how it performs, and make a cutting decision. Lastly, if you're running a lower budget of, let's say, $50 to $100 per day on ads, you don't need to worry about ad fatigue for a long time. Your ads won't exhaust after you haven't even spent $3,000 this month on them. If they aren't even remotely close to KPI, you just need to fix your copy. On top of that, in order to deal with people who are less than ideal clients, you need to be overly resilient, or in the case of one of our clients, dump everything down more than you'd like. So why do that when you can spend less time worrying and more time winning with your ideal client? And in most cases, with your ideal client, a higher price really leads from one good thing to the next, so why bother? So that's a pretty big part of what you need to know to eliminate unqualified prospects from your pipeline. Now, I chose not to cover the pixel today, and I'm going to do so in a later video. So that's pretty much everything. Now, if this sounds like a great idea, but you're not sure whether you can implement it yourself, there's a link in my YouTube bio. Click the link and you can schedule a discovery call with me where we'll determine if you are a good fit for our offer. We guarantee you 20 appointments in 60 days on a complete pay on result basis. Check the link, book a call, and we can work together. Other than that, ask any questions you might have in the comments and I'll happily answer them. That's it for this video. Thanks for sticking with it to the end and I'll see you in the next one.